Hello everybody and welcome back to SaveEarth.us and artofdino.com, and I have got an interesting video that combines a little bit of history, unique history with an old article, but also for the artists out there as well, which I'm going to be doing a lot more for the artists out there in the coming future because it's time to just escape all the other nonsense. Some of the time it feels great to escape all that nonsense and get right down to creativity, which is, I think, what truly matters. So I want you to check this article out, which I'm going to read to you, and it has amazing, interesting stuff about the use of kaleidoscopes. And it almost seems as if the kaleidoscopes were kind of one of the artist's first kind of mechanisms that seems almost similar to AI in an interesting way. It was capable of doing things that artists could not do, and the way they were using them was very specific and very unique, and I never even realized before, especially the connection with churches and stained glass windows. So take a listen to this article because it is very insightful and awesome in so many different ways. So here we go. It is from the Evening Star, February 25th, 1882. Awesome. Here we go. Kaleidoscopes are made which cost as high as $12, which was probably a ton back then. These are used in industrial drawings, especially in carpet designing. The colors and instruments are all given by little bottles or tubes filled with colored liquids. Besides these, had a great variety of other material in them, bits of lace, gums, and leaves, and small figures for use in figure grouping. They are expensive instruments to make and are generally imported. All fine kaleidoscopes are made in Germany, which the more I read these articles, I am finding so many things that only occurred in Germany. And again, leading up to World War I, it's insane the amount of things that the Germans were the best at. It's in so many articles. They were the best at this. And the Germans could only do this. It's really remarkable, and it's sad about the inevitable outcome of it all, but Germany was definitely something magic and special, and they were masters of fine kaleidoscopes apparently. So they are used generally as a foundation or suggestion in making patterns. They not only give the outline of a design but suggest coloring, and with that lens attached to it, a carpet designer can see the whole effect when arranging and grouping his patterns. And I had kind of thought of that, but I never really fully realized that they would definitely be putting this to use back in the day, because it's an incredible way. Similar to the way that I punch prompts into AI, you can toss things into the kaleidoscope, the certain colors that you want, certain figures and shapes that you want, and then you can mix it around and get infinite different possibilities. So here we go. You ready? It says they are used in all sorts of designing. Architects sometimes take designs from them for architectural ornaments. A kaleidoscope saves a great deal of preliminary and purely mechanical labor. An architect can turn a kaleidoscope until he finds a design that suits his purpose, and then copy it photographically with a camera lucida or by the eye if he wishes to vary a little. See, they used all of that stuff to do these, to make these buildings that we find unbelievably amazing, and the artworks that we also find perfect. The centerpieces for ceilings made of plaster of Paris are so designed, but the greatest use of the kaleidoscope is in the manufacture of round stained glass windows. So the ceilings made of plaster of Paris, that could go for the like those amazing circular mandala ceilings that you see all over Europe, all over everywhere, those great domes that are probably acoustically perfect and etc. And they were probably made with kaleidoscope technology, which is amazing, and also means that it's much more ancient than we were told, and it's way more than just a little kid's toy. So the instrument creates in a single hour what 1,000 artists could not invent in the course of a year, and works with as much precision as rapidity. When cheap frescoes were in fashion, the figure plates of kaleidoscopes were much used by wall decorators, but not many of them are sold now. Figures are usually put in kaleidoscopes where the inclination of the mirrors does not exceed 30 degrees, so that the reflected design will be compact. A new effect in grouping is often got as the figure rises out of the formal part of the pattern and connects itself with singular ease and grace with the reflected figures on each side. A Father Castell tried to invent an instrument to show combination of colors for the use of artists, but he never succeeded. He was an impractical optician and had a romantic dream of an ocular harpsichord, which was then in common use. The idea of the ocular harpsichord was that when a certain key was struck, a color related to that sound would be exhibited to the eye. Castle thought that as he played a piece of music, the eye at the same instant would be delighted with harmony of exquisite color. But his dream proved chimerical. No good ever came of his attempts, useless unless possibly Castle's failure suggested the idea of the kaleidoscope to its inventor. So, well, I'm not exactly sure when the kaleidoscope was invented. I don't even think that the internet will tell me an accurate answer either way. But again, very cool. Very cool ideas were being come up with, and they were tossing around. And again, this is what I consider a kind of a form of AI. The way I'm using AI to just type in things to save me time from drawing so that I can do the work that I need to do and the ideas that I need to do. But in general, a lot of people now are using, with Adobe.com, you can get different color schemes that will come up with random things. You can do random template designs. You can expand drawings. You can do all these different things. And so it's almost as if the kaleidoscope was like the first artificial tool of the artist, but it was also natural. It was a natural pattern, whereas the artificial intelligence, maybe it is actually using, it must be using a natural mathematical formula, but whereas the kaleidoscope was purely up to chance and nature, there wasn't anything really random about it. It's all there. It all makes sense. It's mechanical in nature, and but at being mechanical, it still provides infinite wealth of ideas and options and visual splendor, which is magic. And that is the way it should be. That's kind of all you really need, is using different methods of nature, the physics and the power of the world to create your different ideas, that in combination with your mind. And it's amazing. But again, I always saw those different things of those different kaleidoscopic stained glass windows on all the old buildings and churches. And I never put it together that they were actually using kaleidoscopes to design them. So that is new insight to me. And again, I might actually try this. I might use it and see if I can do the kaleidoscope to camera lucida method. It sounds very interesting. And now the ocular harpsichord can be done on computer games, and there's different things that basically do that, promote color while you create music and have that connection there. So technology is kind of catching up to the ideas of the ancients in a very interesting way. And so I wanted to just share this all with you because, again, I found it interesting. I found it a little bit inspiring, and it gave me some ideas of creativity, which is what I am going to do a lot more on this channel. I want to be more of a positive force as the world around me is crumbling to dust. But you got to stay positive in this stuff, and the best way to do it is to get creative and get drawing, because in that drawing state, it's almost like being in an untouchable dream. Time seems to slow down, the body heals in all amazing ways, your mind wanders into beautiful vistas, and you are the creator. You gain the power of the creator. So I encourage everyone to get creative, get artistic, and show the world your magic. Bless you all, and stay tuned for a lot more from artofdino.com and saveearth.us.